And welcome back to Who Would Win. It's the monthly Who Would Win. It's the new year, so we're basically just gonna, and it's a new month, so we start off with the monthly Who Would Wins. The monthly Who Would Wins are a theme-based Who Would Win I do month per month. I usually do one at the beginning of the month and two during the week of Who Would Win. Helps me speed along the process of it. And the theme of this monthly Who Would Win, as we've been going along with this, are the planeswalkers of the card game Magic the Gathering. For those of you who don't play the game, a little background. In the card game Magic the Gathering, there is a large expanse of lore, history, stories that are being told, and are ongoing stories being told. And there are basically an infinite amount of worlds or planes of existence, and characters who can traverse through these planes are known as planeswalkers. It's like 1 in a million to 1 in a million have the ability to become planeswalker, and like even fewer become them. Which, though there are a lot of cards representing that, is a small number when you actually count the overall, you know, number of individuals in the overall universe. Anyway, so we're on a character known as Saheeli Rai now, or it might be Ral. Saheeli Rai? Give me a second. I'm gonna get her up right here. Now, she's an interesting one. Because there we go. Saheeli Rai. Sorry, it's R-I-A. Sorry, R-A-I. Saheeli's interesting because I've technically already done a Saheeli-esque character in the sense of Tezzeret. Both these characters are artificers, or characters who deal with artifacts or the machinery of their respective universe. But Saheeli's a bit different than Tezzeret. And you'll notice, by the way, Tezzeret is her opponent. I'm going to explain why I chose that in a little bit. She has the magical man over metal. She used it for purposes of artifice and creation of lifelike artifact constructs, or, mechanical animals. She's even able to transmute metals from one into the other. On Kaldea, she is regarded as one of the brightest minds, her home plane. Her dazzling intellect and mastery over metal makes her a formidable adversary. She has a bright, optimistic personality. She loves facing off against other inventors at contests and tournaments. Tezzeret is already done, but he is also an artificer, though he is not in the same. He's an artificer on a different level, on a different on a different. He's in a different form, I guess was the best way to put it. See, Tezzeret is a planeswalker, especially its artifice spells that forge artifacts, manipulate them, and bring artifacts to life, creating huge constructs from mere scraps of bits of metal. Despite this, the inventor, he's also able to copy. If he gains an understanding of a machine, he is able to pretty much assimilate it and into his being, because he's made of metal. He's made of Ethereum. Most of his body is, like a good chunk of it is. So why did I pick these two to go up? Well, first off, they never actually faced off in their story, in their respective story they were in. So there's that. But also, Saheeli's a weird one to do, because I can't put her up against someone who can also do that. Who can also basically just manipulate and transmute, because that's just back and forth, really. It has to be someone who has similar level of ability, or similar concept of an ability, but does it differently. And I think Tezzeret just was a good fit. So, ultimately, we've gone over these guys, or these characters. How would a fight go down with this? Well, let's say it's an alternate take of what happened in the storyline in Kaladesh, where Tezzeret was facing off, I believe, against Chandra's mother. Chandra's not the character, I've already gone over. And they went in to help her. Except this time, Saheeli and Tezzeret are facing off. And, Tezzeret is just using the scraps around the field, making metal. She's immediately stopping the metal. Starting and just recreating it in her own image, but he'll immediately take control of the artifact creatures. They'll basically be going artifact to artifact, pretty much going blow for blow in terms of what they're creating and what they have to go against each other. So it's going to be a pretty drawn out fight for a while, but ultimately the loser in this actually is going to be Tezzeret. I think Tezzeret actually loses this on the grounds that Tezzeret is made of metal, so she can manipulate the metal that is Tezzeret himself. He might be able to resist it on some level. In fact, it is his body, so maybe he has some magical guards in him, I imagine. There's been no proof of that, so I can't say for certain. But ultimately, because he has magic metal as a part of him, all Saheeli would really have to do is focus on his actual arm. He's only got one metal arm, by the way. His other one is normal. But only has to focus on the one metal arm as he's maybe about to raise his hand, as maybe he's distracted, and suddenly just rip it off and just use it against him, and discover the Ethereum, and be like, ooh, and then pretty much bind him or something like that. That's all she'd really have to do. And so ultimately, I would go Saheeli in this. This is probably one of the shortest videos I've done for who would win, but I have to go Saheeli. That's just what I think. That being said, though, I would imagine Tezzeret is the more willing of the two to get his hands dirty in terms of like a physical scraps, or yes, physical scrap, as you could put it. So I imagine he would be the one that, if it got to physical combat, he would be the one to take the advantage, particularly because he has, he's a cyborg more or less. But yeah, I do think it would be him who, if it came to a physical confrontation, which is possible, who would come out on top. So I would say that Saheeli wins, but it's not as close to some of the last two videos. I would say that it's probably more like an 85-15. 85% of the time Saheeli does win, but I think maybe 15% of the time it is Tezzeret. But what do you think, assuming you know Magic well enough? Do you think it's Tezzeret? Do you think it's Saheeli? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win. Oh, God, something in my eye. Something in my eye. Like us review setting, put in the comments below. Let us know. I'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Severe Magic, what if. Anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do a review of it at some point. I'll be back a little later with what if. So thanks for watching. Later. And then have a good one.